Hello, and welcome back to Season 5 of the Fresh Finds Podcast, the show about discovering new music with good people. I'm Ryan, and this episode I'm joined by Central Pennsylvania rapper and producer Adrian Rose. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. We've been looking into setting this episode up for a couple months, ever since Danny Nono of Big Eleanor Records reached out to me. Do you want to take a couple minutes to introduce yourself, talk about your music, just kind of get all of that out of the way?
Yeah. So I go by Adrian Rose. I'm from Central PA. I've been making music for about 14, 15 years now, I think. So I'm not just a rapper. I sing as well. I do more singing than rapping these days, to be honest. I have that like baritone soulful voice.
It sounds so nice.
Thank you. I play multiple instruments, all under like the R&B and like soul kind of umbrella. I've been a hip hop producer for the longest, but I started working on like the vocal side of things probably like 4 years ago.
Okay. All right, cool. So what kind of got you into like doing music initially in the first place?
So I was always artistic. Like I would just sit there and like draw all day or something. Or
Sure.
like I had like keyboards and stuff growing up, so I would like try to figure out how to play songs. And yeah, that's really just all it was. It was just like a lot of tinkering. Plus, like my father was a DJ.
Oh, all right.
And my mom, she has like an amazing singing voice, I think. So that's kind of where that came from.
So would you consider like the keys to be your main instrument, or do you have something else that kind of like pulls you, like you feel better represents you?
Definitely bass.
Bass. All right, right on.
I didn't pick up the bass until like a few years ago, but it definitely feels better than every other instrument that I've played.
Just something about it. Like I totally get that. I mean, like you play the bass and there's just something about just like feeling those low notes like vibrating through it. Like you feel like you got so much power to it, you know?
Exactly. It feels so human.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to say that. So what other instruments do you play?
Just guitar, keys. I do finger drum a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I've dabbled in drums, but I don't really like do live drums too often.
You don't play the kit?
Nah, I don't play the kit.
Gotcha.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I just need a little bit more space for it, you know?
No, for sure. That's one of the biggest things with like a drum kit is you need to be like away from people, have enough space to set it up, as well as like not annoy the fuck out of your neighbors. Because you don't want to get all them complaints. So, like, I noticed like a lot of different styles kind of like moving into the new project, All Caps, which came out at the end of last year, December, right?
Correct.
So what were you listening to at the time while you were making everything? I know that it was a long process, but like some of the stuff that like stuck out to me is like stuff like Rat Race almost has like a jazz funk kind of like almost live band vibe to it. I also picked up a little bit when I was listening to it, like the end of The Rain, that like auto wah guitar solo thing kind of gives me like funkadelic vibes a little bit. So like what were you like consuming, listening to while you were making this project?
That was a lot of what I was listening to. I was listening to like a lot of James Brown, a lot of Parliament, stuff like that. Just like a lot of psychedelic funk.
That's awesome.
I was listening to a lot of soul music, R&B. Like I would listen to Bill Withers, some Otis. I'd even throw a little bit of Jimmy in there.
Really just that soulful, like old school kind of stuff.
Even though Jimmy's on the like rock side of the psychedelic parts, but like definitely like that rumble in my voice for sure.
Yeah. So like, do you consider this album to be more of like a hip hop album or more of like a soul album? I mean, it obviously pulls like influences from kind of like all these things, but like, what do you think is like kind of like the main categorization that you would put it under?
I would definitely call it more of an R&B album.
Okay.
Just because everything would fall under that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely like a hip hop R&B fusion album, I think.
I could agree with that. And like, because at the very start of the album, that intro track is a whole bunch of voicemails about like how long it's taken to drop the album. You know, I've been waiting for 4 years for this shit. Like, why isn't it out yet? So like, what I'm curious about, this is kind of a 2-part question, I guess, is like, you also had the Lloyd EP, which as far as I can tell, came out in 2023. So was that kind of like, did you feel like that was like more of a filler project, or was it just because it was an EP, you aren't like considering that as like part of the releases?
So that one was not under the label,
Oh,
and that
okay,
was more of
gotcha.
just like, yeah, it was kind of like a filler project, I guess, because like I did that obviously while I was still working on the project, and I started working on the project before the Lloyd EP.
So
So
it was almost like a palate cleanser, like in the middle of it. Was that
yeah, it
something that
was,
you were just
well,
like trying to like get back
I
into it a
started
little bit more, or what?
well, so the thing was, I started like making some songs that I necessarily didn't think fit on all caps, like sonically.
Okay.
And I was like, well, dang, I have a whole bunch of these. Let me just kind of group them together into this little project and give the people that while they wait for the main project.
Almost like a teaser a little bit.
Kinda, because like it's not really like a teaser for the album because
No,
it
yeah.
sounds totally different. But yeah, it's like I don't know, just something to hold them off, you know?
No, for sure. Kind of tied people over that are
Yeah.
waiting for like the next big release. And like, were you kind of holding off on it because you were in the middle of making it when you made this other EP? So like, what was it that took you so long to like fully flesh this out? Was it just like, this is just such an important project to me that I just need to make sure that I dot every I and cross every T, make sure that everything's perfect? Or was it just like, kind of living life and things just naturally come up, that kind of deal?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I so I moved probably like halfway through the making of the project. So that was part of it. A lot of the instrumentation on the project were like session musicians, like the sax players, and there's a few guitarists on there, some other producers as well.
Got you.
So that part took a while as well. But yeah, I definitely spent a lot more time on this project and effort, I think.
Okay, sure.
Just because the Lloyd project was co-produced by Young Music. He co-produced some tracks on All Caps as well.
Okay.
But that entire project was co-produced by him, so he would like send me beats that were kind of there already. I just kind of played some bass lines or added layers to drums and stuff like that, mixed it just to like bring it to the finish line. But yeah, so for the most part, he produced that, and it was all sonically in the same realm, and it was just like probably over the course of a month. So we just knocked that out real quick.
Oh, got you. Got you. Okay. And when you were working with like the session musicians and stuff like that, was that something where you were like going into the studio and actively like working with them and everything? Or was it a lot more of like kind of reaching out to people through like DMs and social media and like all that kind of stuff, being like, this is kind of what I want, and a lot more of like an internet collaboration type of thing? Or was it a lot more of like an in-person type of deal?
So some of the people I know in real life, but a lot of the session musicians I did reach out to during like the COVID lockdown era.
Okay, sure.
So everything was remote at that time.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, that was pretty much how we did all of the session pieces on the project was remotely. Like I would just
Gotcha.
send them like the open spot, and then they would send back their files, and then I would just throw it in there, arrange it how I want.
And how much like direction did you give them on that? Did you like kind of like map out parts and kind of like, I want this, I want that, or was it a lot more just like, I like the vibe that you bring to a track, like just kind of do what you do on it?
So for certain things, I was intentional with like the direction that I wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would explain what I want. Like for the saxophone on Rat Race,
Yeah.
I hit up the sax player and I was like, I want some like Terrace Martin type of sax on this, like that Kendrick all right type of stuff. And he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, my boy Terrace, yeah, I got you.
No, that's awesome.
And then for the guitar on the Rain, I actually had my own solo on there, and I had Malcolm, the guitar player that did that. I had him use that as a reference for the solo on there.
Oh, got you. So you kind of did like a demo version basically, and then sent it
Yeah,
off to him for like the final version.
yeah. and he's a lot more talented when it comes to that. So,
Yeah, sure. That is
so I
kind
was
of
like,
one
yeah,
of
let me get that.
that is kind of one of the things where when you do it all, you sing, you rap, you produce, you play guitar, bass, keys. You've got the jack of all trades, master of none sort of thing going on. At least that's how I feel when I tend to like do a lot of that stuff. Is like I can do all these things, but like I could probably find somebody who could do every single one of these things better than me. Is that kind of what you were feeling with that?
Not necessarily like that he's better than me or whatever, but for that specific solo though, I definitely think yeah, he's better at doing solos than I am for sure. But
Not better across the
there's other
board, but like
songs,
specifically for that
yeah,
track.
yeah, specifically for that part too, because at that time I'm pretty sure he was going through some stuff too, so like he was relating to the music
Hmm.
while he was playing it, so like that raw emotion also played a part in it.
No, I get that for sure.
But there has been like songs that we've worked on together where like I would reach out for like a guitar part and then I would just end up using what I had anyway. Like
Yeah.
like like but his solo game is crazy. Like every time he sends me a solo, that's the one.
So, how was it that you got like involved with Big Eleanor Records and all that? Because like I discovered them through Danny's old punk band from like
Okay.
I think 2020, something like that. I found some of his stuff. I can't remember if it was on Instagram or like Bandcamp or something like that. I just remember that I found his old band and we kind of connected. We did an episode of the podcast back in the day, back in I think like 2021. How was it that you kind of got involved with Big Eleanor Records and kind of that bigger collective?
So there's this like show that or it's like a venue kind of. It's like a small living room type of vibe
Oh, sure.
called the DMZ House in Lancaster. And they booked me and Laddie Moran for a show. And then Danny was like, "You guys are really good. Do you guys have a manager?" And then that's kind of how that started.
Got you. Yeah, because you guys were
That was like a
signed
few
right
years ago
about the
now.
same time, like
Yeah,
a little less than a year ago, I think it was, like that it was officially announced or whatever.
yeah. So me and Laddie are like we're family. We're basically brothers.
Yeah.
So it was a package deal kind of thing.
Got you. You can't have me without having my boy.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So like what are some of like the other projects that you've worked on recently that like people might find interesting that maybe like are a little bit different from what you're doing on all caps, or like maybe something that is just gonna like show a different side of like you as a producer?
So I wouldn't say it's much different, but there is a project called Disfunk, and it's me and JDP. He's an artist from Texas.
Okay.
So we formed a duo, and it's like very funk, R&B, and hip hop kind of fused sounds and stuff like that. But it's a lot different than all caps, I would think.
Got you.
That was also started while I was working on All Caps because one of those songs was supposed to be on All Caps, and we were like, "Nah, let's just make this an entire project on its own."
Got you.
And then aside from that, I produce a lot for Laddie Moran. So his most recent project, Never Ignorant, Getting Goals Accomplished. I think that's like either 80 or 90% produced by myself, entirely mixed by myself. That's more of like it's like a socially conscious kind of political and let's say like a self-reflective kind of project.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's a lot more, yeah, a lot more kind of like introspective and like kind of
Yes,
yeah, all right, cool, cool, cool.
it definitely is.
So like what do you feel like are some of like the standout tracks, like some of the ones that like if you're playing the album for somebody, you're really looking forward to like seeing their reaction to like specific tracks or like
Mm.
anything like that?
Well, there's crowd favorites and then there's my favorites.
Okay, and they're not the same.
Not usually.
Okay.
So the crowd favorites are more like Gimme That,
Okay.
and Rat Race and stuff like that. Where my favorites are Lady and Lay You Down and songs like that. So it's like
The ones that are
Waterfall.
a lot
Waterfall
more
is
like
like one
in
of
the kind
those.
of like R&B direction, a lot more
Yeah,
soulful type. Oh yeah, all right.
yeah. So Waterfall, that one's like kind of both. That one, people tell me they love that, and I love that. So it's like that's probably the one that I'll show people and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
you'll like this.
Yeah, I get that for sure. So, all right, here's a question for you because it'll probably like informs your artistic thought process and like just kind of your worldview as well. Like, what do you do for a day job? Are you able to make like music production the thing that pays your bills, or do you have like another gig that you do to take care of most of that?
So this is mostly what I do for my income.
Okay.
I do have like a part-time gig as well. Like I do a lot of admin stuff for my mom's business actually. She owns a salon, so I do like all the admin stuff for that. Like I do payroll and all the stuff that she doesn't want to do basically.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Family man for sure,
So
right?
yeah, for sure. I love my
Yeah.
family.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm blessed enough to be able to mix other people's music and produce for other people. So
And how long have you been doing that in a capacity that you're able to like pay your bills and, do all of that just with making music?
it's probably about like 5 years now.
Okay.
Because like
So,
I didn't start mixing and recording people until like right after COVID. Because like that's when I spent my whole stimulus check on like plugins and all that stuff and just
oh,
like
gotcha.
really
Yeah.
learned how to do it. And then once everybody was allowed to roam again, I started booking people for sessions and started mixing their music and all that. So probably around 5 years now.
Got you. And like, what was it like kind of like building up that? I would imagine that being an artist and a producer on the side more, you probably had a lot of those connections. But did you have any like major learning experiences and stuff like that, trying to like go from having this idea of wanting to make music your full-time gig to actually doing it?
There's definitely growing pains.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
like working in person with artists was definitely new to me.
Okay.
So I was like a producer first, so I would just send people beats and they would pick the beats and then go book a session somewhere else, and then they would send me the finished project,
Hmm.
and then that was it. That's as far as I really knew. But then when I started recording people, it was like a whole new world just opened up to me, and now I have more control of what the artist actually sounds like on the track itself. So yeah, it was definitely a learning process for sure.
And there's a lot more personal connection, kind of like trying
Oh
to
yeah.
like coach people to get the right performance and like make them feel relaxed and all that. So much of being a recording engineer is also kind of like helping people deal with their shit and like come out of their shell a little bit and become like as good a performer as you know that they can be. So like that's definitely
Yeah,
got
for
to be
sure.
like a new like learning experience, kind of getting into that for the first time.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely try my best to like provide good vibes in the
Sure.
sessions in the studio because I feel like if they feel comfortable in the room, they're going to be more comfortable to open up and really show their experimental side, and that just makes for better music in general.
You got any specific like traditions or anything that you kind of do to like try and help like curate that vibe, or is it kind of like a lot
So
more on like a case by case basis type of deal?
I mean, definitely lighting candles sometimes. Specific artists do different things. Some people like to drink while they while they
Yeah,
record or whatever. I let them do whatever they want. But yeah, everybody else. I mean, everybody has like their own rituals
for
to get
sure.
into that like state of mind. So for Laddie Moran specifically, when he comes to record,
Yeah.
we'll just sit here and listen to random music for hours, probably before we even hit record on anything. We'll just listen to oldies or whatever. Like
Yeah.
we'll listen to randomly listen to like Tech Nine or Rich Boy or something strange like that that has nothing to do with anything that we're about to make, just to like kind of get us in that mode.
Yeah, just to start kind of thinking about music and like unlocking the neural pathways almost a
Yep.
little bit, just like get things moving a little bit. I get that for sure, for sure. What's like some stuff that you really like to listen to that like people might not pick up on from from the type of music that you generally make? I mean, you've talked about like a lot of kind of classic R&B and like stuff like that. Like, is there anything that might like kind of surprise people?
I mean, I listen to current R&B and stuff too.
Okay, sure.
I don't know. I don't know if anything would really surprise people. Like I listen to a lot of Kali Uchis.
Okay,
I don't
all
know if
right.
that would surprise anybody. Even like there's some like house ish producers that I listen to, like K Tronada.
Okay, sure,
I think
sure.
he's phenomenal. I don't know if anything that would catch anybody off guard.
You into like any sort of like rock music or anything like that generally?
So System of a Down,
Hell
System of
yeah,
a
okay.
Down. That one probably catch people off guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite rock band of all time.
He's got a really like rhythmic delivery, so I could definitely see how like somebody who's like kind of into
And
hip
like
hop
yeah,
and
the
like that kind of
pockets.
stuff, like I definitely see how that could be something that you would really like sink your teeth into for sure, for sure.
That and like the content, the lyrical content of the songs itself, like
Oh yeah, they're
that and
all
like Rage Against the Machine's another one.
okay, sure. So like super political, like that kind of like conscious type of stuff.
Yeah,
Got you,
yeah,
got
for
you.
sure. But even other stuff like I was big into like Offspring growing up
Okay,
and
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit of Metallica, a little bit of Green Day and all the pop punk stuff too. But
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the interesting things like when I'm doing interviews with people who like cuz I'm a rock guy. That's my main background
mm,
is I listen to like a lot of like punk and metal and like that kind of stuff. And I always find it interesting when I'm interviewing somebody who like their main background is in a genre that I'm familiar with for sure, but definitely not like my main thing is like kind of trying to see like the things that that we gel on. So like I've also had like some EDM DJs and stuff like that, and kind of
okay.
like trying to find like, all right, so what are the things that we like kind of where do we cross over?
Well, all right. So I grew up with a metalhead for a cousin.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
So I was exposed to like a lot of stuff. Like he would show me like Mudvayne and all different types of weird
sure,
stuff.
sure, sure,
Like
sure.
there, I don't know if you're gonna like edit this, but there's this band called Goblin Cock.
Okay.
And he showed me that, and I was like, "What the hell, man?"
That's incredible. What era was that? Because I feel like I've
I
heard
have
that
no
name
idea.
before. Not.
It gave me like Death Clock vibes.
Oh, got you. So it's like brutally heavy, but also like kind of like tongue in cheek in a way. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this is like late 2000s type of deal.
yeah.
I actually kind of want to check out some of that because that sounds incredible. And like
But yeah,
I know that you and like pretty much all the Big Eleanor guys are from the kind of like central like Pennsylvania area, right?
for the most part, Shaw Calhoun is actually from DC.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that he's a little ways away. So, how often like do you guys kind of get together like as a collective and kind of like scheme about things and like put together shows like talk about like promotion or anything like that, or is that kind of a lot more Danny's bag and you guys kind of do your own thing?
So we actually have a weekly meeting
Okay.
every Tuesday. We hop in Zoom. I'm trying to get them to just do it in Discord because there's no time limit and it's a lot easier. But
Yeah, for
we
sure.
hop in Zoom and we kind of just like brainstorm the next steps or like just update what's going on with like either the streams or whatever we just did recently. Just updating everybody on that, and we just sit there and bullshit a lot of the time too.
Of course. I mean that's half of it, right? Like why do
Yeah.
any of this if you're not like having a good time bullshitting, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's definitely moments where we're like coming up with an idea, just brainstorming, writing things down, and it feels like four different parts of the same brain. It's like somebody will start a thought and then somebody else will finish it. And it's really dope.
What are some of like what does the rest of like the scene kind of look like out there with like kind of the hip hop R&B space? Is there like quite a few venues or do you guys find yourself kind of like going back to the same few places like over and over and over?
It really depends. There's a lot more places in Lancaster I feel that are like diverse
Okay,
So
sure.
they won't just book like rap shows or R&B shows or whatever. Like they'll book like punk or rock or whatever, folk even.
Yeah.
Like they'll book literally whatever kind of music. But like the community that we're a part of, I feel just like it kind of blends well together. So we usually end up on the same lineup as like other artists in our realm, like Sir Dominique Jordan or Wednesday or Naibi Perez, or those are all like locally
Yeah, yeah. I was
known
gonna say
acts.
I'm gonna go back in and like search all of these like after we're done recording, so I can like have some artists to feature on like upcoming episodes and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
Because like
for sure.
my smaller artist like hip hop kind of side of things is definitely lacking, and so that's definitely something that I need to like get more into. So I think that this will be a good episode to like kind of get my foot in the door a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And like that is one of the cool things about because I'm in Detroit. There's kind of like a
Okay.
really big like just there's a scene for almost every type of music out here. I mean, whether it's like, you know, different types of like rock or blues music, there's tons of people who play like kind of folky type of stuff. There's a lot of R&B and hip hop and of course like a ton of electronic music. And I think that like the
Hmm.
blending and the crossover of that is really very interesting. Like I think one of the coolest events that we have that happens every year, at least as long as I've lived here. It's called Dally in the Alley, and basically there's like
Oh, I've heard of that.
oh, have you really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I have a few friends from Detroit too, though.
Oh, cool. Right on. Yeah. So it's like they kind of shut down like a whole block and have like a bunch of stages and stuff like that. And it's really cool because every stage will have different styles of music. I mean,
Yeah.
even going to like, you know, almost like traditional like African music and stuff like that, that's just
Hmm.
like a lot of like hand drums and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I think that that is one of the coolest things about like kind of, you know, multi-genre, multicultural like areas like that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you've ever heard of Clear Soul Forces,
The
but I know a
name
few guys
sounds
from there.
familiar.
It's a hip hop group from Detroit, but they're amazing. They're all like very talented rappers. I'm closer to the guy who made a lot of their beats, Elijah Day. But yeah, they're all talented,
Yeah, look.
and that's where I heard of the Dally in the Alley from.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure he still performs and he's done that and like he streamed it on Twitch and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's sick actually. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like looking up the name, it looks like they as a group haven't really been releasing anything since 2020, which is
Yeah, they kind of went separate ways musically, but they all still make music on their own, I believe.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that was just before my time of kind of like moving to the area because I'm from a lot farther up
Okay.
north originally. So it is interesting hearing about stuff that like kind of disbanded just before I got here, getting like a little bit of a history lesson almost sometimes, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely go back and listen to that if I were you though.
For sure. I'm gonna save one of these albums to check out later. Is there anything
Absolutely.
else that you specifically want to mention about like you as an artist or like you know the album or like anything that you've got coming up in the future before we kind of like move on to the next part of the episode here?
Definitely just stream the album. You'll get to know a little bit about me, I think. Play it around your lady friend.
There you go.
Play it around your lady friend.
For sure.
As far as upcoming projects, I don't really want to like show or tell people what's coming up next. I kind of want it to be a surprise,
Sure.
but I won't wait 4 years to drop it though.
Got you, got you. All right, cool. So this is this has been a good time. I feel like we started out a little bit slow, but we finally found our way a little bit here. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So the next part of the episode, we've both chosen some tunes to listen to. I'm gonna go first, and we're gonna go back and forth, which is gonna give you the closer if that sounds good to you.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, cool. So my first song is actually one that I found. So I have a friend whose band hosts a festival every year out in Nashville. Generally, like more kind of like rock centered type of stuff. But I was interviewing a bunch of the people who played and asking like, "Oh, what have you been listening to recently?" And one of the guys who helped organize the show introduced me to this artist called PK Canto, who I believe is also from Nashville. And he released a couple of different projects last year. But the first one, and the one that I listened to a lot more, is called Tekken Tag. And so it's a like the whole course of the thing has like a ton of like samples from like Tekken the fighting game, and kind of, you know, all based off of that. So the first song that I'm gonna play is Round One, which is of course the first track off of the album.
Round one. Fight.
Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. 1-inch punch, fist hard like steel. Leroy Smith, Wing Chun, Mike skills. Send a diss and in self-defense I kill. Any MC that think that he more ill. You should've bought equipment, instead you got a grill. That's why you ain't got no studio in the crib. Your lab is whack, I deploy Jack 6, command attacks. I'm a black belt on the fight pad when it come to rap. Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. Fear no man, if I bleed, then he bleeds. So don't become a villain in my kung fu movie. I mean, what else can a nigga even say? I skate on every beat and I surf every wave. Combat, Armoku Jin the way I train, cause I break down all the competition in my way. Throw me in a volcano, I'll conquer that terrain and crawl out the hottest young nigga in the game. I'm sweating, let's take a break and go play Tekken. Man, fuck it, man.
KO.
Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, right. It's a lot more of like a kind of like chill beat, but I feel like he flows over it real nice.
Yeah, for sure. I like the whole kung fu vibes too.
Yeah,
You said something about Wing Chun.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I think is really cool about this project is like there's so many different references to like fighting and Tekken and like video games and all that stuff. I really like when people do like short little projects like that like really stick to this theme and these references and these samples and really kind of have like a very distinct identity in that way.
Yeah, concept albums are amazing.
Yeah.
Really shows off that like that creative side.
Yeah, and this one's a pretty short one. I mean, the whole thing's only like 14 minutes basically. You know, it's not super long, but like it's kind of perfect in my opinion because like every time I listen to it, it gets done and I'm like, I kind of just want to listen to it again. It's something that like just begs to like be looped over and over and over.
Yeah, for sure.
I also really like the lyric. I forget exactly what it is, but talking about spending money on a grill and that's why you don't have a home studio. And like talking about not investing in the right things, not investing in yourself,
Yeah, for
kind
sure.
of
I tell people that all the time.
yeah, it's such a big thing. I feel like so many people come into money and like the first thing that they want to do is like blow it on some sort of status symbol, whether it's like a watch or, whatever.
Or shoes or
yeah, exactly. And it's like, you could do that to like really buy some stuff to like change your life, change, this, that, and the other. And like kind of so many people don't do that when they come into money.
Yeah, for sure. Like I have all this equipment, but when it comes to like fashion and stuff, I'm really not chasing like name brand stuff. Like
pretty understated.
The shoes that are on my feet right now, $30 and ones.
All right, yeah. See, that's like somebody who wears something like that, that they're going to be like more of a down to earth, like chill kind of guy.
Yeah, it was funny when I got them. I was just bragging about them to everybody else. Like, yo, look how durable these are. Made in America.
I got them for $30. It's like when
$30, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a girl gets pants that actually have like pockets. It's like every time somebody mentions it, it's like they got pockets. Can you believe that shit?
Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, that kind of like reminds me of something. I'm talking about like the home studio deal. Is your studio where you like work with other artists and yourself and all that? Is that like, do you have a separate space for that, or is that like a home studio that you built? Okay, cool. I definitely
it's half art studio, half music studio.
Oh, that's rad. Actually, so you do visual art too.
Some of these paintings are actually done by my nieces.
Okay.
I have some vinyl hanging up as well.
Yeah.
That's my uncle's band. He was in a hair metal band.
Oh, that's sick.
Those are just some prints. But yeah. Like my whole life has been art. I don't know if you can see that right there. That's a hip hop sandwich that I did in ninth grade. I can actually pull it.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to get a better look at that.
This was an art show too.
Oh, that's sick as hell. That's super cool.
You got your money, turntables, speakers, glasses, headphones. And then there's a spray can guy who's breakdancing.
Okay, yeah. You ever get into like tagging and graffiti or anything like that, or was that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. My brother is actually a graffiti artist still. He's very talented. He's the one that did the artwork for the album.
Oh, right on. Sick. I always find it interesting finding out that like musicians also do visual art or some sort of other artistic medium, because I feel like generally like people who want to be an artist and that's what they want to do with their life, generally you don't stick with one medium. But also like there are some people who just have like a million, different music projects. But I think that there's a little bit more balance when you do like a visual medium and like a musical medium or something like that, because they're not like the same. So you get like burnt out on one and maybe like you would get more life in the other or something,
Yeah, for sure. And like just in music alone, just working on other projects by other people with different sounds from mine, that's also refreshing and kind of saves me from burning myself out. Because it's like I'll work on my project and then I'll go work on like a hardcore rap project or something like that. Like something like real gritty and raw, and I mean it's all kind of raw, but something more aggressive, because I'm not gonna hop on a track and be super aggressive.
Yeah. But being able to work on it,
like I might scream, but that's it.
Yeah, but being able to work on it, you can still kind of like get those feelings out and everything. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly,
no, I get that a lot for sure. All right, so what is our next tune gonna be here?
Girls/Ugly by Laddie Moran.
Your boy.
You been gone, why you on my mind so damn long? I ain't even wanna write this song. Plenty pretty women near my phone. Subtweet the bitch that left with my heart. No communication, now we worlds apart. High double bitch, I think I love. Tripping on some other stuff. Only call up when I want a rubber butt. What the fuck wrong with him? Won't walk through the mall with him. Won't sit at the bar with him. Paul's got a lot of dog in him. No, mama told me granddaddy was a hoe. Flip another sample, stuff another cone. Texting when I wanna, probably die alone. sexing when I want, hit 'em in a month. Ex-drug dealer, jaded young nigga, find a bad bitch. Had some fun with it, write a song for it, shoot a vid with it. Probably never share my heart again. Shit, I barely wanna share a bed. Integra to the jetted to a bands. After quarantine, we should link again, girls.
Is this? Because there's no girls here.
Fuck you, Tyler.
Oh, this is your purse.
Where the bitches at? First of all, you said the key thing. There's no girls here.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm working and girls are a distraction.
No, they not.
I know they're not because I'm looking for the bros. What? What?
Love myself, I love my, yeah. Said love is warm, love is cold, love is shy, love is bold, love is young, love is old, love is giving, never old, love is free. Yeah, hey, said love is free. Yeah, yo, said love is pleasure, love is pain, love is sun, love is rain, love is blind, but love can see. Love is you and love is me, love is free. Hey, I love you, I love you, I love you. Don't give up now, somebody needs you. Take the mask off and just be you. That's the key, now go and free you, yeah. Listening to Kenny like I love myself. Gotta hug myself. I met you, we on a whole nother frequency. You're good enough and all you need to be. On that, fuck, waiting on the world to see. I said fuck, so you understand the urgency. I love the love, like love's a drug. I love myself, I love my son. I love my blood, I love my cuz. I love the grind, but not the wealth. I hope you hear this rhyme and you love yourself. I hope you realize you a light that shine. I hope you ease up, give yourself some time. I hope you find yourself, but you'll leave surprised. Head high with a peace of mind. Cause love is warm, love is cold, love is shy, love is bold, love is young, love is old, love is giving, never old, love is free. Yeah, hey, said love is free. Yeah, yo, said love is pleasure, love is pain, love is sun, love is rain, love is blind, but love can see. Love is you and love is me, love is free.
All right, yeah. I'm definitely into that. I definitely like how it's like there were the two songs, but it almost felt like it was just like a beat switch just to like another like section of the song basically. Thought that was super cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he snapped on those.
Yeah.
That Ugly song though, that's probably one of my favorite songs by him.
That was the second one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the You Gotta Love Yourself is what it stands for.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say it is such a positive vibe. I also love the Kendrick reference there. What was it? Listening to Kenny, I Love Myself, which is actually my favorite song off of To Pimp a Butterfly is specifically the album version. Like there's something so like raw and cool about it. I love that
the
reference.
Bass line at the end of that. Thundercat snapped.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's another artist that I was listening to a lot during the creation of my stuff. Or it's like as soon as all right, so he's basically the person that made me want to pick up a bass guitar.
I could see that for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely my favorite song on that project too.
So he's got another project coming out relatively soon through Big Eleanor Records as well, right?
Yes. And I produced that too.
All right, right on. So is there any information that we can get specifically about this, or is this kind of like a need to know basis? We'll find out when we find out type of deal?
All I'll say is that there's more than one.
Oh, all right. So we've been cooking.
Yeah.
Got you.
And it's only going to pick up.
See, I feel like a lot of artists, you kind of just need that support in order to like really like get going, because I can see looking at like just on streaming 2 more full length projects in 2019 and 2020. Stuff dating back to 2017, but it looks like not a whole lot has happened since then. So 2021 there was another EP, and then he's also been pretty silent for that time. So you guys have just been cooking up together, eh?
Yeah. I think the last like release was Never Ignorant, Getting Goals Accomplished. And that was what, 21 or 20?
I see Crybaby 2 was 2021, but
let me just look that up real quick.
fact checking.
Yeah, it might have been 22 when we released that.
Did that not go up on streaming?
No, it did.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah,
weird that I don't see it.
We released it Juneteenth 2022.
Oh, nice.
Okay. It's Niggaz.
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
Niggas, but
Yeah.
It's Never Ignorant, Getting Goals Accomplished.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's the Tupac acronym.
All right, so I guess I will go next with my next tune. So the next one, actually, interestingly enough, so I mentioned that festival when I was introducing the last artist. So this next band, I actually saw them play at that festival before they ever had any music released. And they started releasing stuff from their first EP this year. So this is the first single off of their new album, which comes out at the beginning of February. They're kind of like a instrumental math rock band, basically. And so this song is called Lunch with Your Friends by Together Breakfast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fire.
I was gonna say, I'm sure as like a bassist and a guitarist, like there's probably a lot to unpack there that you would get a kick out of.
Yeah, even the drums were crazy. Like just the all the switch ups. Like that was nice.
I think one of my favorite things about it is like at the end of the phrase when they're kind of doing essentially like the turnaround deal, when it all slows down, is the dan it dan it dan it dan it dan, and then like back into it. Like it's such a fun little groove switch up just to like turn around to go back to like the beginning of the form.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of moments in that song.
Yeah.
Even like the outro, how it was like kind of like a cool down.
Yeah. Like
I don't know if your mom ever did Taibo, but
no. Oh yeah. Oh shit! I haven't thought
cool
about
down.
that in so long. Holy fuck. Yeah.
Shout out Billy Blanks.
Yeah. But no, I do think that like it's such an interesting thing, instrumental music like that, the way that you can do like variations on a form and keep things fresh while also very clearly like still being kind of like the same sort of thing. Like that's kind of like
same house, different rooms.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's kind of like what I love about like jazz and stuff like that too, is like it's all kind of like
very jazzy.
Exactly. You keep like very similar like things about it, but you change up just enough that it like stays interesting.
Yeah, like it has the bass bones, but there's really no rules.
Yeah.
And it's just like creative expression.
Yeah, and their bassist is just incredible too. Like you get into like that slap stuff and all that. Like, oh man.
Yeah, that was very pleasing to my ears.
Yes, they are, like I said, releasing their first EP at the beginning of February. This is the first track that they've ever released, actually. So really fun to like get into some of these newer artists as early as I can.
Interesting. Yeah, that was definitely I'm definitely gonna look out for their other music when they drop stuff.
Yeah, I think you'll get a kick out of it for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely going on my list.
Hell yeah. So what do we have up next?
We have Fine Wine by Suge.
All right, you want to give a little bit of more in-depth introduction for this one?
For Suge, she is actually Laddie Moran's wife.
Oh, all right. Keeping it in the family.
She's an R&B singer. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like my sister. but yeah, she's an amazing singer. She probably, without knowing, well, she probably knows, but without like actually hands-on teaching me how to sing, she is probably my biggest teacher when it comes to just the way I sing, the sounds that I do. Like from producing her as well, I kind of found my own sound.
You kind of like taught each other along the way, in a way, basically.
Yeah. Like she was already an amazing singer when I met her, but yeah, sonically, I think we definitely kind of grew, and we have pretty good chemistry now when it comes to music.
Nice. Have you guys collaborated on anything?
She actually
vocally?
has an album called Her Ethereal Beauty. Oh, vocally, no, we haven't.
Okay,
we haven't collabed on anything, but except for actually in this song, there's a part where like I was coaching her to sing the one part like a specific way. You can barely hear me, but I'm in the background singing along with her, so she could hit that.
Okay, cool. All right.
No, we definitely need to like do a song together. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, a nice like duet or something. Especially because you say that like your voices like complement each other fairly well. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would complement each other. It was mainly just me like listening to her sing and trying to figure out how do I do that.
How do I do that same thing? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Lay back, drinking wine. Finally found
Oh yeah, I am so into that.
Yeah, so that was actually recorded right here on this microphone.
Nice. I absolutely love that vibe. Is that an upright bass or like a
I believe
fretless
so.
bass at least probably, right?
I believe so. I actually didn't make that beat,
Oh,
but I
okay.
believe so. It
Gotcha.
just sounds like one.
Yeah, no, that was like the first thing that I picked up on was I was like, all right, I really dig that kind of like upright bass sound and everything. Like it's just
Yeah.
it gives such a like nice kind of like vintage sound to everything. Like that's one of the things that I love about like this whole track is just it has such a like kind of I don't know if this makes sense, but like smoky is like a kind of like descriptor that I like. It just sounds kind of has that smoky vibe to it.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely tried to make it kind of feel that way with the delay and distortion on like the drums and stuff like that. Kind of give it that like dreamy feeling.
I also really like the delay on the vocals too, because there's like a couple
Oh, yeah,
spots
where she
like
said,
that
"Bah,
little
bah, bah,
transition. Yeah, it's got the little delay throws. Like that's a little production technique that I just absolutely love. Is like fun little like delay throws and stuff like that. They add so much character to a vocal, specifically like at the end of a phrase or something to like kind of build it up, give it a little bit more impact.
Yeah, for sure. I think it can be overdone in songs, but if it's done intentionally, like how we did with that,
Yeah.
it just hits different.
Yeah, I think there are some people who kind of do that on like every line and it kind of like stops losing that impact. And I mean, that's just a thing with like music production in general is like you do one thing too much. It's the exact same thing as like, you know, alcohol or drugs or anything like that. You know, you do it too much, you're going to develop a tolerance to it. It's not going to hit the same.
Yeah, moderation is key.
Yes, sir. So that came out last year, right? Yeah, in August.
Yeah, it came out 5 months ago.
Got you. So does she have another like full length project in the works? Do you know?
We talk about it, but I don't think we've really started working on it yet. There might be like a couple songs that we started working on, but
Got you.
there's really no timetable for that yet. But there will be projects, plural, I'm sure.
We got projects plural coming from so many artists right now.
Yes.
Honestly, I like that though. I feel like that's kind of like a good way to like almost like set yourself up for success. Have like a lot of stuff that you can put out in a short amount of time, especially in the internet age when like, you know, people's attention spans are so short. You really have to like keep putting stuff out and reminding people that you exist in order to like really develop a fan base, you know?
Yeah, literally like staying in people's faces at all times. It's tiresome, but yeah, it definitely there's a demand for it now.
I think that whole thing with like promoting music in the way that we do in the modern age, like through social media and stuff like that, is so kind of like weird and interesting because you do have to like put so much effort into like kind of trying to stay consistent and stuff like that. I noticed that you post a lot of like on your TikTok and Instagram and stuff, a lot of like live performances and stuff like that, which is definitely a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I see people do like little videos where they're like just lip syncing to their songs or something like that, and I'm like, I would just rather perform it and then show you that.
I think it's more interesting that way too.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, when it comes to like content creation, I don't really call myself a content creator. Like I make art and I'll show you my art. That's about as far as I go. I'm not gonna like do TikTok trends and stuff like that.
Yeah, and honestly, I respect that because like I feel like there's so many people who honestly kind of like sell themselves short for the trend instead of like remaining authentic to themselves. And that's kind of like, I mean, especially I feel like it's especially bad on like Instagram Reels and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But you like go on there and you see so many bands or artists or whatever doing whatever the current trend is, and like even if you blow up off of that, like is that gonna turn into new fans, new followers, new listens for your music? Probably not. Yeah. And I think that that's like a big thing with all of that is trying to, be as authentic as you can and actually like try and build a community and a fan
like
base.
and like a core fan base.
Because
yeah, for sure.
What's the have you heard like the 1,000 true fans theory, I think it's called? You've heard you've heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. And I think that that's so true because it's like you can have, you know, just 1,000 people who really like fuck with you, really ride for you, and you're going to do so much better in the long run than like big numbers that just kind of like fall off as people forget that you exist.
Yeah, because like that 15 minutes is up and then what?
Nothing. You got nothing to show for it after that. You maybe got a couple people, but like a lot of the time it really is just like the trend is basically all that you're doing at that point.
Validation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. The slow grind is definitely worth it, though.
Oh, 100%. I think that's, again, like you said, you know, really putting the effort into making the album exactly what you wanted and, like, doing everything just so, and even to a lesser extent, kind of, like, waiting to put it out and, like, doing other things, like, to have more projects to, like, put into the pipe for, like, for the promotion on social media and stuff like that. I think that all of that is a really good strategy for trying to have longevity in a career.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So my next song is another band that I discovered from seeing them live. This was a couple weeks ago now. My friends in the band Cascade Riot, who are a local Detroit pop punk band that I have featured on a previous episode, they were playing a show probably a half hour away, but because of all the snow that we've been getting and things like that, it was closer to 45 minutes. They were really surprised that I came out when I came out to the show, but I was like, it's just snow. It's whatever, you know? And I was really glad that I did.
You guys get a lot of that.
What's that?
I said you guys usually get a lot, don't you?
It's interesting. So I'm from farther up north, and so I'm used to more snow. It feels like the amount of snow that we get around here is like kind of minimal. And I think that that's why I had that attitude about going towards about going to the show too. Is I was like, this is nothing. But you know, that's just.
You said I'm from the North Pole. What are you talking about?
Exactly. But I'm glad that I did go to that show because I found this band called Violet Daybed, who are from Southeast Michigan. I'm not sure exactly where, but they kind of have this like 90s alt rock sound to them that I think is really cool. Like people who are kind of nostalgic for like the radio rock, alt rock kind of thing. Think of like Third Eye Blind and like maybe like that kind of stuff that was popular in like the late 90s. I think that people who like that kind of stuff would really fuck with this band. And so the song that I am going to play is called Friendly Enemy, which is the second to last track off of their album.
You leave, but when they turn to
It was dope.
Yeah, I think that it's just like such a fun kind of like throwbacky type of sound. I feel like people who are like listening to the radio like late 90s, I feel like would really get into like this type of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was definitely feeling some like I guess Nirvana.
Yeah,
Like when it comes to like the guitar and stuff like that.
yeah, I could
And
definitely
like the
get like
rawness.
some Nirvana vibes for sure. One of the things that I really love about it is the guitar tone that they have. Like
Yeah.
there's something that I really like about this kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it because it's not quite like an overdriven kind of thing, but it still has like a little bit of like grit to it, like a little bit of energy to it, as opposed to like just a straight like clean sound.
Yeah, it definitely sounds more like I don't know how to describe it. It's like garage punk.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's kind of got this like lo-fi aesthetic, but it's not like a fully lo-fi like production because it sounds really
Yeah.
good and really well produced. But it's kind of
Yeah, for
it
sure.
got that like garage aesthetic to it that like I think makes projects like this a little bit more compelling in a way.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's kind of that thing where like you lean into
like-
like something not quite being as good and it makes it feel more real almost.
Yeah, it's like the raw talent.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah, I definitely like that like imperfection across
yeah.
like any kind of music that I'm listening to. Like I look for like the things that aren't like perfect. And that's kind of the thing that sticks with me the most.
Yeah, I think that something about the imperfections, again, just like kind of makes it feel more human and more like interesting in a way. So it's easier to like connect to it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just more like memorable in my opinion.
Yeah, that's
Because like when somebody's not singing perfectly like with auto tune or whatever, like that's what makes my skin get goosebumps, my hair stick up. Like
yeah.
it gives me chills.
I think there's also just like such in like the modern like pop kind of like thing, so much music that does have like squeaky clean, perfect like kind of production that it doesn't feel as impressive as it used to in a way because so many people are doing all these meticulous edits and things that it almost like is an act of rebellion in and of itself to go back and like make your production sound more human.
Yeah, for sure. Like when I first started making beats and stuff, I didn't have these stringed instruments, so everything that I played was all keyboard emulated
It
stuff.
was all like MIDI.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it was all MIDI and it was like perfectly tuned, so it kind of had like an electronic feel to it.
Yeah, for sure. When you make beats, you said that you tend to like hand drum quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I finger drum a lot.
Yeah. So do you quantize that much, or do you try and keep that loose specifically to like have that more like kind of boom bap old school kind of feel to it?
Yeah, I don't quantize anything just to keep the human feel for sure.
Nice.
Same with like the velocity and stuff like that. Like
Well-
I see people like they'll do their drums that'll be quantized, but then they'll like hand move it off of the grid to make it sound more human. And I'm like, why don't you just
Yeah, that's kind of goofy. It's like you're trying to find like a perfect way to achieve imperfection instead of just like really kind of leaning into it. That is funny actually.
Yeah.
So what do we have up next?
We have What's a Matter by Raldi.
Okay.
He's another Lancaster artist. This is actually the title track for his project that he came out with. It was some years ago, but that's another one of those projects that was 4 years ago. So 2020.
Oh yeah.
That was another project that I produced the majority of.
Feels like all
And,
you guys have kind of been like on a similar trajectory. Like it was like a little bit of like a build up, like independent kind of thing up until 2020, and then like a big long hiatus with big stuff coming soon.
Yeah, for sure. So this song, like I made this beat for him.
Uh-huh.
And like I called the beat "What's a Matter," and then he ended up calling the entire project "What's a Matter." So I was like, I low-key named his entire project. Nice.
Is that something that you like if you're just making a beat, you just give it like a random like bullshit title?
Yeah. There's a lot of beats that have wild names.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. Like I'm probably the most disorganized creative of all time.
I feel like that's kind of like a thing with being creative, though, is like a lot of people who are kind of like in those creative things tend to not be great with like file organization and things like that. My biggest issue, I go the exact opposite way. I'll make something that I don't have any like vocals for, so I don't have a name for it. And then it just sits as Project 27 forever. It's like I've written the vocals, I've tracked the vocals, I know what the song's going to be called, but like at the very top, right in Logic, it still just says Project 27 on it. Which is terrible,
for me,
but
for me, like when I first start working on an idea, it'll get that random name, but as it gets to the other stages, like once the artist is like finished writing it or like we start the recording process, then it'll get the actual name of like the actual song, and it'll be a lot more organized. It'll say the artist name, the song name, the date, whatever version the mix is, or something like that.
I'm good about that when I'm working for other
stages,
people, but my own stuff, I'm just terrible about it.
But yeah, the early stages are just insane. I'm pretty sure one of the songs on All Caps for a minute, like the name was just Baja.
All right.
And you couldn't even guess which song that was.
No,
I'm not going to tell anybody either.
That's for everybody to discuss and try and figure out for millennia to come.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's give this a spin.
I'm locked in. Cage bird, flip the bird, what's the word? Hangman, niggas screaming gang gang, time my noose. Lost in the dank dank, find that truth. Aim it at the stars, then bang bang shoot. Headed to the cloud to a better place. Heaven was a mile away, I'll probably be in shape. Life been a treadmill, still in place. Still in place. Water down, nothing but seas all day. Rooted with dirt, this from the mud, nigga. I don't ever think the pain gon' fade. Pain gon' fade. Little bit of Henny for the rah-rah. Whole block Rica, the la-la. Niggas stay mellow at the casa. This year's supposed to be a movie, dog, but we ain't one sorting on the cameras. Niggas on the pole like a dancer. Coppers still ride around harass us. When a moonlight hit, it's all making sense. What's the matter with you? Why you play the fence? Are you with the shits? Nothing really exists, it's all making sense. When a moonlight hit, what's the matter with you? Tryna say the kid. When a moonlight hit, it's all making sense. What's the matter with you? Why you play the fence? Are you with the shits? Nothing really exists, it's all making sense. When a moonlight hit, what's the matter with you? Tryna say the kid. Back pedal, let the chain loose. Ain't nothing can't handle. Cut my lights off, lit candles. Put it on wax, all facts ain't told. Niggas play sheep, I'm goat. Can't go against my soul. If I don't feel it, ain't coming close. This shit golden, feel like I'm chosen. That's my curse. What you know about your worth? What you know about your pain? How you gon' use that hurt? Is you gon' run from the flame when they fire you up and lighten you up? The lows take you up and the up and like what? Niggas sing the same old song. Ain't tryna write what's wrong. Ain't tryna write they wrong. Rather maintain they boss. Rather maintain they Shadows come alive in the moonlight. Feel alive, do or die. Blame it on the moonlight. Shadows come alive in the moonlight. Feel alive, do or die. Blame it on the moonlight. When the moonlight hit, it's all making sense. What's the matter with you? Why you play the fence? Are you with the shits? Nothing really exists, it's all making sense. When the moonlight hit, what's the matter with you? Tryna say the kid. When the moonlight hit, it's all making sense. What's the matter with you? Why you play the fence? Are you with the shits? Nothing really exists, it's all making sense. When the moonlight hit, what's the matter with you? Tryna say the kid.
Yeah, that's a fun one, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's got like this really cool, like laid back energy to it, but like the vocals like deliver so much energy to it as well. I think that's one of my favorite vibes in like hip hop type stuff, is when like you give like a blank slate almost, and like the artist is really able to like do whatever they want and they bring the energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And he definitely brings that every time. His wordplay is just so nice.
That's my biggest issue with like recording these episodes live and not having heard things before. Give me just 1 second. Hold on, somebody's at the door. All right, what were we saying?
About the wordplay, and you were saying that listening to the music like on the spot.
Yeah, listening to things like for the very first time, like especially with like hip hop or like anything else that has like really dense wordplay, is not being able to like pick up on all the like double entendres and like really interesting like rhyme schemes and stuff like that right away. Like that's also just, I listen to music, I tend to like enjoy like the vibe and the beat and like all that first, and then listen to like the lyrics later. And so I always try to like find it like the lyrics online or something like that, so I can like read along or whatever, but I couldn't find them.
Okay, so yeah. Not everybody has that.
No.
But I'm the same way. Like when I first listen to like a project front to back, the producer brain kicks in first, and I'm just kind of like listening to the actual music and like dissecting the like how everything was produced and mixed and everything like that. And then the second time around is like I'll listen to projects like over and over and over again to like fully digest it.
Oh, 100%.
The second time around is when I start like really diving into the lyrics. And even then, like I don't fully digest the lyrics till probably like the 10th to 20th time.
Well, and that's the
like,
thing, like with especially good wordplay, like it's so deep and intricate that like you can pick up on new stuff like every time you listen to it.
For sure. Like there's probably albums from like the 90s that like I've listened to like a million times that I still like go back and I'm like, oh shit, he just said this and this and this. Wait, how did I miss that?
I mean, hell, you look at like breakdowns of like an MF Doom song or something like that, and it's like a 2-minute song, and you got like a 30-minute video essay of people like explaining every single like rhyme scheme and reference and internal rhyme and shit. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Nowadays, I do see people kind of reach when it comes to that stuff, like making something out of nothing.
Yeah,
nah, that's not what he meant when he did that.
They're like, oh, this is actually a reference to in 1960s Cuba. This thing happened, and it's like, no, I don't think that was what that was about. I think that was just a filler word.
Yeah, one of my recent favorite instances like that is what. I forget which song it is. I think it's like Reincarnated or something by Kendrick.
Oh, yeah.
But they were like, oh, I can't believe he made this song and all the lyrics are other songs. I was like, he didn't do that. What are you talking about? You just made that up.
No, I think I saw a similar thing. Somebody was like, oh, yeah, there's this reference like on To Pimp a Butterfly that would like later be on this thing on GNX. And it's like, I mean... So but he didn't have that planned out, right, 10 years ago, I don't think. Like,
well, some of the stuff he probably did.
That is true.
That whole like Drake and Kendrick beef has been going on for around that long. So
yeah, well, and it was also, I mean, that whole thing was also just like wild promotion because everybody's just like, oh, he hasn't dropped in so long. Like Mr. Morale was kind of like, it didn't really like go as hard as everybody was expecting. It's an album for me that I enjoy as an artistic statement, but I don't tend to like put on and just listen to, if that makes sense. I'm glad that it exists. I think that the things that it does as a piece of art are very good, but it's not something that I come back to the same as like that or like Good Kid, Mad City or something like that.
Okay, I can see that. There are songs on there that I go back and listen to a lot.
Yeah.
But there's definitely ones that I don't listen to a whole lot. Like I'm not going to put on We Cry Together.
Yeah.
But I'll put on the N95 and what's the other one? Count Me Out. I'll put on that. Silent Hill, like
Was
the
was
vibe
We
ones,
Cry Together the
definitely.
one that is basically just an argument over top of a beat?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I will say one thing that's kind of crazy about that is like soon after it came out, somebody was at like a stoplight right outside my apartment and they had it like cranked up with like the windows down and everything like that. I will
And
say
it just
it
sounded
sounds
like
like a
domestic
real
violence.
argument because I thought that there were two people down there that were actually fighting each other. And then I'm just like, oh, it's just somebody's listening to the new Kendrick. Okay.
It's like, should I call the cops?
Yeah, like literally, I'm
That's
like, is this
funny.
like domestic abuse going on right now? Like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna put that on.
Yeah.
Even though the beat was crazy, Alchemist snapped on that, but I'm not gonna
yeah.
put that on.
I also like. I think that the music video, because I also just watched the music video for this tune as well, is really neat. Like the visuals that they do for it with like the moon in the background and then like zooming in and then he's like standing on the moon and like it's a really well put together video.
Yeah. So the guy who did the video is super talented. It's the video was done by Dunk Made It. He's also from the Lancaster area. I think now he kind of stepped away from like the music video stuff and he actually does college sports for ESPN.
Oh wow, that's kind of crazy doing like broadcasting and stuff.
Yeah, so shout out to Dunk.
Hell yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
he'll do like the like hype videos and stuff like that. Like when they're like walking out of the stadium or like highlights and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so is he doing a lot more of like kind of like the post production side of things as opposed to like the broadcast?
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That's something like there's so much that goes into like video production and things like that I know so little about that I always find it so fascinating.
Yeah, I could never. It's like a whole different beast. Like I can do some simple stuff, but
I mean,
a lot of that is like crazy. Like that's art in itself.
Oh, 100%. I think that that's something that a lot of people tend to like look past is like the video editing or anything like that as an artistic expression. And I think that like anything like that where you are taking something and creating something with it, all of that is artistic expression in some way or another. And I think it's just funny that some people like overlook that in a way.
They're like, oh, it's just a simple visual.
It's just a technical thing. And it's like, no, you like, I mean, even you think about like lower thirds, right? Like the little thing that's just going to like show your name on the screen or whatever. You have to like time that out, and it's almost like a musical thing. You have to like time it out and make it sure that like it hits the beat right or whatever. Like there's a lot of like musicality to video editing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything's kind of like rhythm based.
It really is. I think that's, I mean, even like just human expression in general, we've got a natural rhythm inside us if you think about it. And so I mean, it's really everything comes down to the rhythm to make it feel good.
I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah, I mean, I have my moments. All right, so my next song is going to be a bit of a different one. So this is by an artist called Sunkin. He is kind of an experimental artist from LA who released this album that this song is off of, I believe in April. Yeah, April 19th of last year. And it's kind of weird. I would say that it's almost like modern psychedelic yacht rock in a way, if that makes sense. Like
yacht rock.
Like you think of like Steely Dan or like Fleetwood Mac, like that kind of stuff, because it's got this very like chill kind of vibe to it that's also like extremely like poppy and catchy, but it's also got some like really weird like experimental kind of like rhythms and things like that in it. I think it's a really neat vibe. So this song is called All the We Works Are Dead.
Are dead. We play now, drinking lemonade in the ruins of a competition. I'm not hip, but I have been retrofitted. Rip it up, there's cracks in the foundation. Are dead, we play now, presenting our big routine to the trees in the crowd. I'm not hip, but I have been retrofitted. Word is out, it's not a competition. I'm not hip, but I have been retrofitted. Rip it up, there's cracks in the foundation. Down like a dog, claiming and marking the land, testing the strength of its jaws, biting the head off a grown man. Suit up and get in the van, going to family camp, panning and mining a void, looking for coins in the sand. Ripple effect, destabilizing the place, happily lifting the weights, turning the people in wheels, tails have to be chased. I must have gotten it wrong, cause I thought all the wee works were gone. Yeah, but I have been retrofitted. Word is out, it's not a competition. I'm not hip, but I have been retrofitted. Rip it up, there's cracks in the foundation. I'm not hip, but I have been retrofitted. It's not a competition. I'm not, but I have been retrofitted. I'm not, there's cracks in the foundation.
All right.
Yeah. I love how
Um,
like highly produced everything is.
Yeah, that 808 caught me off guard for sure.
Yeah, it really kind of like comes out of left field, but it adds like such an impact to the section. It's really neat.
Yeah, like I didn't expect it at all, but it just sounds like it fits.
Yeah, and that's why I say that it's kind of like experimental, because it feels very catchy, it feels very poppy, but at the same time there's like a lot of like different elements from like different types of genres and styles, as well as like a lot of really intricate rhythms and things like that too, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. There was definitely like a almost like a Beatles vibe to it.
I could see that in a way. Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For sure.
This artist is also just super interesting and very like eclectic, because after this album, he released another project in August that was like a noise album, basically. It's really interesting going from this like highly polished, like really like catchy type of stuff to like kind of the exact opposite with like just like noiseescapes and things.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll have to check that out too.
Are you somebody who tends to just kind of like enjoy sound in general, even like above music? Because I feel like a lot of producers and people who get into like audio engineering tend to kind of just appreciate a good sound, even if it isn't necessarily musical.
Not necessarily. Like,
Okay.
so, I gotta be able to like feel it, kind of like nod my head to it or something.
Sure.
If it's just like background noise, I don't know if I could do that.
It's almost like sound design in a way, like making things that like, and I totally get it. Like if you're not into that or whatever, but I think that it's like a very interesting medium that is like super experimental, and not a lot of people like kind of go in that direction.
Yeah, for sure. Like I probably couldn't listen to like an hour worth of like didgeridoo or something like that.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think the other thing like with this song that it also almost has like a island vibe to it in a way. I don't know if that makes sense necessarily,
or
but
like it feels like the beach.
Yeah, it feels like the beach. It feels like summer. It feels very like I'm just gonna
Like I got
put this
boardwalk
on.
vibes.
And yeah, exactly. Like I'm just gonna put this
Felt
on
like a
and kind of
seagull
like
was about to-
relax, hang out, enjoy the weather.
Yeah, I felt like a seagull was about to try to steal my sandwich.
Especially this time of year. That's kind of what we're all looking for in a way, I think.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's cold out here. We're looking to warm up. Although I did see something just the other day. Apparently, we just got past the like 90 shortest days of the year or whatever. So we're starting to get over the hump. So
Yeah, give me back that sunlight.
yes, sir.
Take away these like negative whatever degree days.
Yeah.
I think yesterday was like the coldest day of the year for us.
Man, it was pretty bad for us too. I think it was like got down to like -6 or something like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like with
that's how it
wind
was for
chill
us.
and everything too. Like if you're just walking out to your car, you're just like, I need to bundle up. Like I can't just run outside for nothing.
I was wearing 2 hoodies.
Yeah, I was wearing a hoodie and a winter coat and like some thick gloves and the whole nine. Yeah. All right. So what do we have up next?
We have Better Days by JDP. Actually featured on this song.
Okay, cool.
So this is the rapper half. He's like mainly a rapper, but
Okay.
he's the other half of the Disfunk group
Oh, right on. Yeah.
that I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
So I actually meant to like go a little bit deeper into that. Is that like a lot more of like a funk type project? Like are you like slapping the bass and doing the whole thing on that or
So it's not like funk pop, I guess.
Okay.
Like I'm not doing a whole lot of slapping.
Gotcha.
But it's definitely it just really all falls under that like psychedelic and like R&B kind of
Gotcha.
umbrella.
Okay, so it's a lot less dancey and a bit more moody kind of funk.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah, for sure.
cool.
This song though that we're about to listen to is not really funky.
Okay. All right.
This is more on like the introspective rap side.
Oh, gotcha. All right, let's
So yeah, we can start.
give it a listen.
Said I've been praying for better days. Will I find my way? No time to waste. No time to waste. Find better days. Will I find my way? Will I find my way? Find better days. Find better days. Fuck I gotta do for me to catch a break though. Tracing on my steps back, I was led astray though. Looking for the way through when it ain't on the ways yet. Directions needed ASAP, cause I can't find a way home. Stay on, studio for days long. Still ain't made a hit yet. Something in my brain wrong. Something in the air when I make sounds. Some people don't care when they great songs. Most people don't share when they say it's all love. Like, come and take a walk with me. Knowing that the talk is cheap. Put your money where your mouth is before you talk to me. How fair is it? You can say some shit behind my back, get online and start applauding me. I heard that shit for the birds, you getting burnt back. All them fucking tweets, no wonder you in the bird trap. Staying out the flock, observing on how to hurt that. Keep myself ahead of the curve while on my search for. I don't know what I'm trying to find no more. I don't know what I'm trying to find. While on my search for. I don't know what I'm trying to find no more. I don't know what I'm trying to find no more. Said I've
tryna find my way like Google Maps. I'm just tryna climb up out this fucking track. Get the stress up off my back. Hit the chiroprac. Tired of holding back. Like shit is all good. Master pain with the smoke from the wood. Said the strain helped me cope like it should. Said the change bring me hope. Didn't know that it could. Didn't know that it could. I've been down bad. Reminiscing on the feeling that I had. Happiness ain't in no fucking bag. Got me tripping in this train, falling off the tracks. Faking smiles, faking laughs. I've been trying to fight depression. See the light, but darkness crept in. And it's hard, my only weapon. Till the demons get to stepping. I needed something real I could feel. This ain't love. So I've been praying up above, up above.
See, I've been praying for better days. Will I find my way? No time to waste. No time to waste. Find better days. Will I find my way? Will I find my way? Find better days. Find better days.
I really like that ending. The way that like the beat kind of like fades out, but then the vocals are just left doing like the acapella. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to find no more. Like that whole thing is so great.
Yep, I appreciate that.
It's again kind of like more of this like chill. I feel like this is again kind of like more of like a smoky kind of type of sound.
Yeah, for sure. It was funny when we were writing to that beat, because Young Music, he actually made the beat.
Okay.
When we were writing to it, like our verses, he said something about a Waze app, and I said something about Google Maps.
Okay.
And we had no idea what each other's verses sounded like as we were writing them.
That's so funny.
That was just a happy accident.
Just happened to mention different navigation apps.
I was like, holy crap, that's insane. That's just like an example of chemistry.
Yeah, for sure. Like you don't even have to like think about it. You just kind of like seamlessly kind of do that. Yeah. And it is such a relatable topic too, kind of like trying to figure out what you're going to do, how to get over like whether you're feeling depressed, kind of just in your feelings, you know, and especially like I think it was his verse, the first verse, talking about like the strain isn't making me feel how it should or something like that. Like that's definitely something too where like, you know, so many times people will try to self-medicate with different things and stuff, and it don't necessarily like sometimes it can help like in the meantime, but it feels like a lot of the time like exactly it's temporary.
That's why I said happiness ain't in a fucking bag.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot because it is like, I mean, we've all been there, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like around the time when I was making this song, I was going through some stuff and I was smoking heavily.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely just me being self-aware, I think, of the situation and the coping mechanisms that I was looking towards.
Yeah, and we've all got our different ways to try and, you know, relax and everything. And like you said earlier, you know, it's all about moderation.
Yeah, I don't even really smoke anymore. But
really, that's so funny because there's so many songs.
I don't think he does either.
Really, I was gonna say because there's so many songs on all caps that are like specifically like about that.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if there are any on this funk that aren't referencing smoking.
that is amusing.
Yeah. But yeah, we're both not potheads anymore. So
Got you. Did you do anything for like the instrumental on this as well? Because I know that you were featured, but I also hear like a lot of like similar kind of keys sounds and like guitar sounds to some stuff that's like on your record too.
So I mixed it.
Okay.
I think that's about it. I might have layered some drums or something, but I don't think I did too much to this one.
Got you.
Because I want to say they have a friend who played the guitar and he did that. But yeah, when it comes to like the mixing of all the instruments and stuff, I did all of that.
Okay,
So that's probably why it sounds kind of in the same realm.
Yeah, for sure. So this is another question that I have for you. When you're working with other artists who get beats from other people, because I know that you've said that you do that before too, do you try and get them to get like a multi-track from the person that produced it so that you can actually like mix it properly?
Yeah, I definitely prefer doing that because it just sounds way better when I have full control.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Versus just the beat and then the vocals. Sometimes if I don't have that full control, I'll use one of those like stem splitters.
Oh, sure.
So it separates or isolates like the bass and then the instruments and then the drums and
sometimes
so
those
like
can sound really good, and other times they're a little iffy.
Nah.
But
yeah. I'd much rather have all of the stems.
Yeah, because I feel like I've heard like some other engineers and stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, I had this rapper come in and they had this beat. And I feel like there's kind of like two ways that people generally like deal with that if they don't have the multi-track. And it's just kind of like, it's just another day at work. I don't really care that much. And so they just kind of just put the vocal over the beat, do maybe a little bit of EQ to help it sit. And then there's other people who kind of go like super try hard mode and almost like try to like recreate the beat themselves like 100%. And I think that that's even crazier because like you're trying to like capture
I've
the
done
exact
stuff
vibe,
like that. Yeah, so that's what I would do if it came down to it. Like
it's a quality control thing, I feel like.
Yeah. It's like I have artists that will write to like a YouTube beat and then they'll bring it to me and then I'll just capture that vibe. I won't like remake the beat exact copy.
Yeah.
But I'll capture that same vibe and that same key. So like we can just kind of put their song on the new beat and it sounds like even better.
See, I think that's like the way to do it, especially like as an artist yourself, you have the tools to do that. So like, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah. And like when I first started making beats, I would do these like remix contests.
Okay.
On like BeatStars or something where they give you the vocals and then you remix their song. So I basically just made an entirely new song out of the stuff they gave me. So I had experience doing that. I was like, why not do this with artists that I actually work with?
I think that's like a really cool like way to go about. Do you do like a lot of sampling when you do like beat making for other people and stuff like that, or is it generally like you come up with the idea from start to finish?
Yeah, I do a lot of from scratch.
Gotcha.
I used to sample, but I don't know. I just felt like when it comes to like owning your music and stuff, it's a lot easier to make everything from scratch.
Yeah, I've heard that's kind of like a big issue with sampling in the modern day is just like how kind of power hungry a lot of like the bigger record labels are and things like that. It's a lot harder to get a sample cleared than like it used to be back in the day and stuff like that. I get that for sure.
Yeah, especially like when it comes to like placements and stuff like that, you have to own your music.
Is that something that you do quite a bit as well, trying to get like stuff placed in like ads or like shows or anything?
So I haven't really yet, but we're in the process of doing that right now, actually. Like just getting everything ready and submitting them to like the big catalogs and stuff like that.
That's something I've always been
ads and stuff.
Like interested in or like been meaning to like look into a little bit deeper and kind of just like never got into. I've heard that people make pretty good money doing it sometimes, but
yeah. And just like even being featured on something like a TV show or something and somebody's like, oh, what's that song? And then they Shazam it.
That's the thing. It's great promotion too, because like not only is it like, oh yeah, you get like the royalty check every time the episode or the ad plays or whatever, but like if it is a legitimately good song and people hear it, like, I mean, I've discovered tons of really small artists through, just a random placement in like a Netflix show or something.
Exactly. What was I going to say on top of that? I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Happens to the best of us from time to time, right?
Yeah.
All right. So my final song of the evening is one that was directly submitted to me by a band called Surrender the Ghost. If you are listening to this episode and you make music and are interested in sending it my way for a possibility of being featured on an episode, freshfindspod@gmail.com. But this is kind of like a punk alt-rock band. They're from Columbus, Ohio. This is definitely a lot more in my bag as far as like kind of that, punk and rock and like that kind of stuff. And this is the first single from an EP that they have coming out in March. This song is called Smoking Doesn't Help by Surrender the Ghost.
Thought is like a message that's left unread. It's like a bullet in my head. I can't fall asleep. So then, wishing I could try again. Smoking doesn't help, so I decide to have a drink instead. A shot, a bullet to the head. I finally can't pass out. Well, I appreciate the words that you so often have said to me. We made it through some of the toughest times, and now we're surprised to be on our own. Didn't think this could happen on our own. This time we started back in. Just let us try this again. Try this again. We're gonna try this again. Finally, like a bullet in my head, I can't fall asleep. So then, wishing I could try again. Smoking doesn't help, so I decide to have a drink instead. A shot, a bullet to the head, I finally can't pass out. Well, I've been thinking back on every word that you've ever said to me. We made it through some of the toughest times, and now we're supposed to be I'm happy this happened on our own. It's time we started back in.
Super fun one there.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely reminded me of like Warped Tour era.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I really like. I also find it really amusing that this came after the last song that we listened to, because both of them kind of being about like, trying to figure out how to deal with, the things in your life and realizing that the vices aren't the answer that you thought they might be.
Exactly.
Very good thematically that these two lined up that way.
Yes, that's very interesting.
Another thing that I like about this song, particularly, the end kind of reminded me of it, is that they do the like guitar solo underneath the final chorus kind of thing. I think that like over the last 20 years or so, specifically like the last like 10, it feels like guitar solos have kind of fallen out of fashion in rock music.
Or just in general, like solos in general.
Yeah, that is true. Like a lot of like just instrumental breaks and stuff like that. Like it tends to be a lot more kind of like lyric driven type of stuff. And I get why in certain ways, because you want to make like your music more concise and things like that, and so that it's easier to listen to. I also get that like guitar solos, I've heard people refer to them as kind of masturbatory in a way, where the person who's playing the guitar solo is probably having way more fun doing it than everybody else who's watching him. And I kind of get that to an extent as well. So I always find it really interesting when you do the guitar solo under the final chorus. You kind of get like the best of both worlds there, where like there's a cool thing, but it also acts as a counter melody, which like makes the arrangement more interesting as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely like a nice compromise.
Yeah, it's just something that I've noted, like a little trend that I've noticed recently that I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, so for me personally, I don't mind solos.
I think they're
I'm
cool.
like, yeah,
personally.
small.
Yeah,
I have 2 of them on my project.
yeah. Well, and those were the specific things that you notice I mentioned both of them too, the sax solo and the guitar solo, because I'm definitely
I was like, yeah.
I think that it comes down to being an instrumentalist yourself. You can kind of like appreciate it more. Whereas like if you don't play an instrument and you're just broadly listening to music, you might not like you might not appreciate or enjoy that quite as much.
Yeah, for sure. Like I even mentioned earlier when we were talking about The Pimp a Butterfly and
Yeah.
That bass solo at the end.
Yeah.
Man, that was my favorite.
That is such a good song. I just want to say that again. It literally is like one of my favorites.
I feel like every podcast that I've been on, I've probably talked about that album and that song specifically and that bass line.
It's just so like it's so beloved. I think it keeps coming up for a reason, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this is the first single that they have off of their upcoming EP, which I unfortunately don't know the name of yet, but it comes out March 28th, and it is via PNWK Records, who are a pretty new record label in the kind of like DIY punk and emo space. They kind of pulled up like middle of last year, it felt like, was when I first started hearing about them. And a lot of specifically Midwest bands from Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin generally have been picked up by them, which is really interesting because they're based out of like the Pacific Northwest. But they've been doing a lot of really cool stuff with a lot of really cool bands, and everything that I've heard about them from people who've worked with them has been really, really solid.
Yeah, they definitely have a great sound. Definitely like feels nostalgic, like that Warped Tour era for sure.
Yeah, and I think that that's kind of coming back. Like there were kind of like some waves of pop punk where it went in like more of like the heavier direction. And I think that we're kind of like going back to like the more fun, like, that kind of like Warped Tour kind of era again.
It gave me Yellow Card vibes.
Yeah, I get that too, for sure. All right. So how are we going to end this episode off? What's our final track?
We have No Voicemail by Shaw Calhoun, my label mate.
All right. Also fellow alumni of the podcast.
Exactly.
It's them terrible days that seems everlasting. But anybody, you find yourself clashing. Short patience in any form of fashion. No happy-go-lucky, you're full of passion. It's below your satisfaction. Do the math, this day deserves subtraction. Just wanna get home and get relaxing. Obey the speed limit, seatbelt is fastened. Eyes peeled, I'm strolling through Aspen. Charlie Patrol stay harassing. Pressing for whereabouts, call a backup so they can take a scout. All this extra shit while I'm in route. No extra trips since I mixed my way in. This third eye gym got me itching for a pen. Shall we begin?
Set up shop. Write a verse. My lyrics take care of me. They therapy.
Finally had the long day of fuckery. Your boy twisted up, contemplating on what to eat. Fire stick on deck, YouTube is a must to me. Knucklehead pod, every episode trust a scene. Soon I finish this gas, I gotta stay on task because procrastination stay kicking my ass. Focus superb, phone do not disturb. I'm deeply locked in to keep that shriek with the words. The wrong path with the path to get the jot. Y'all talk about you scheming niggas plotting. Hoes only good for just thotting. All these simps keep spoiling and gas rotten. Oh, a sob story about the forgotten. Better yet, I pin my current energy. Me and the pen be sharing natural synergy. Calculated in the paces very gingerly. Yeah, I never waste ink upon my enemies.
Set up shop. Write a verse. My lyrics take care of me. They therapy.
Of the words I've tried to say.
My lyrics take care of me. They therapy. They therapy.
Shaw has such a cool sound, man.
He's a real spitter.
It is such like a throwback style too, especially like, you know, you got the DJ scratches and everything. Like that's really not something that you hear a lot of people doing anymore.
Thanks. I saw somebody said he's the second coming of Sean Price, and I was like, I can see that.
Yeah. I also just particularly really liked this project. Like I had him on the podcast to promote Fly Langston when it came out like the year before.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
I like that project quite a bit too, but I think that Carry Out on Shaw was a lot. It felt like a big step up to me, or at least maybe
like conceptually?
Yeah. And I feel like also, and I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like it also like stylistically was a lot more my thing than like his stuff before. Not that I didn't like it, but I think that I just like I enjoyed this more.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely gonna be a given as you grow as an artist. I think
for sure
you kind of sharpen your skills and everything becomes more intentional.
Yeah. I need to look up, because there was a lyric that I remember really enjoying, but I do not remember what it is anymore. I need to see if I can find the lyrics anywhere.
Another thing I wanted to mention was like the mixing of the project and like just like the production and all of that itself. Like the more the engineer and the artists and producers work together, like the more polished and pristine is going to sound.
100%.
It's like his engineer Ben. Like I know Ben from Kaleidoscope, the guy who mixed it.
Okay.
I know him personally. He's very talented himself. So like the more they work together, it's like wow. Because he's also like a musician too.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
He plays a lot of instruments, and then just adding that to it, like the creativity that goes on behind the scenes, and even Danny just like putting his 2 cents in. It's like a group effort for sure.
You know, that is something that I've been curious about. Like, how much influence does he have on? I mean, obviously, I'm sure that he lets you guys do what you want for the most part. But like, how much influence does he have on kind of like how the final project sounds? Does he give like full mix notes, kind of like the same way that like an artist would, or is he kind of pretty hands off unless he's got a specific idea about it?
It really depends, because like he was in a band like we were talking about, so he does have like that creative insight that is valuable when it comes. So he's more hands on with Shaw, I think, than he is with me or Laddie, just because like the type of artists that me and Laddie are, like we already bounce ideas off of each other like nonstop. So like just adding another into that mix is sometimes difficult, but he does have good ideas and they do get used sometimes. But yeah, for the most part, we kind of stick with the ideas that we have.
I think that kind of makes sense too, though, because as far as I remember, obviously you're also a musician and instrumentalist. I believe Shaw is strictly an MC. I don't think that he plays an instrument or does any production or anything like that. So I could definitely see how that would lead to situations where it would definitely be useful to have the input of somebody who is a little bit more musically inclined on like the instrumental side and things like that, for sure.
Yeah. Like him and Shaw, they'll cook up like concepts together and stuff too.
Oh, okay. And this was definitely like a very high concept project with all of the imagery and the music videos and like the whole nine. Like that was, I feel like, also the first time that I thought like, oh yeah, Big Eleanor Records is really like kind of helping him level up what he's doing with this like high concept type of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's like cinematic.
Yeah. I mean, it really does tell a story, even like just through like the whole thing of like the skit at the beginning of them talking about wanting to roll up and go into this new spot, and it really tells a full story in the like 26 minutes or whatever runtime of the project.
Yeah, for sure. And they executed perfectly, I think.
Yes, 100%. All right. Is there, I think that this has been a good episode. Is there anything else that you want to mention one last time before we sign off? Anything about the album? Anything about what you've got coming up? Just any last thoughts in general?
Yeah, definitely just go stream the project. All caps everywhere. Follow me on socials, Adrian Rose Music everywhere. Other than that, just stay true, be yourself, love yours.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on the episode. This has been the Fresh Finds Podcast, the show about discovering new music with good people.
Thanks for having me.
Give me everything I need, won't you hold it down? Hold it down for me whenever you're around. What you trying to be, what you want it now? If you're feeling what you see, baby, lock it down. Holding out on me, I just need a raise. I can guarantee we'll see better days. Don't know where we going, but we on the way. I just need a bag before I catch a case. I just need a bag, right? You just need a bag, right? They just need a bag, right? We just need a bag, right? I've been down bad, right? You been down bad, right? They been down bad, right? We been down bad, right? Need another stimmy just to get by. Cost of living crazy, it should be a crime. Ain't no fucking way, yes, it's this high. Feeling like I'm losing my damn mind. So give me that. Give me that fire, give me that cold, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that line, give me that drove, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that high, give me that low, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me what's mine, give me what's yours, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that, give me that. Where all the love go, they know where the hate at. She wonder why I get so high, cause I started from the bottom to I rose, not really that. Either way they say I'm still giving that country rain effect. Been like this, what you expect? Don't test me, I'm too legit. Yeah, with the income hella bad, but rather my impact connect. Cross my O's with an X. Consequence if you assess. In my own class, I do confess. Plus, I got the gift, and if you need it, best not hit me with a text. In the test, from the bird to the X. Give me everything in your pockets. I just need a little bit of that ganja. Give me some room, but stuff for my Dutchess. I don't snuff dope, but motherfuckers love it when I pull up with the 222. Send them straight through the roof. Like Mario, brother with the strobe. 50 feet tall, trying to tell, give me room, now.
that proper. Mommy finna bring it to the table like a potluck. Handful of blade on the